Welcome to Under the Onion Skin, the podcast to get closer to independent animation directors and get to know some behind the scenes of their short films. My name is Giulia, and each time I talk to a different director about a short film they made. With this podcast, I hope to be able to capture a glimpse of what I love mostly about festivals, to have something to listen to when we're back to our regular lives, but above all to celebrate beautiful films, talented artists and storytellers. Welcome to Under the Onion Skin. I'm so glad I can share with you today the conversation I had with Heta Jäälinoja about her short film None or Never in June 2023 in Annecy. I have known Heta for a while now and even visited her studio in Tallinn last winter when she was working on the animation of this film. It's always extra special for me to know some behind the scenes of a project, and that's also why I like to share Under the Onion Skin with all of you. I recorded this episode in the beginning of the Annecy International Animation Film Festival, so at that point we did not know, but None or Never ended up winning France TV Award for a short film. In this episode, among other things, we talk about having a crush, ups and downs of filmmaking and social media. In the background, the Annecy Festival 2023. Enjoy.
I will take my shoes off.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, we will do the same. After all the trip.
Yes, it's a lot of walking that we get to do.
Is this the first? No, you had the premiere in Finland, but this is the first festival abroad.
Yes, and actually I didn't make it to the premiere in Finland because I got sick.
I know, right?
Yeah, so this was the first time that I saw it in a big screen even. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so far I got good reaction from the first screening too. Like some people came to say afterwards that they liked it. So, yeah.
In the beginning here of the screenings, they make you go on stage and...
No, like just after you have to, if it's the official screening, then you have to stand up and
right.
light comes out and then you wave.
So everybody knows who you are.
Yes. And I think it's good because otherwise you don't know who is the director, and if you want to go to talk with them, it's a chance.
Yeah, I find it always hard to connect the face with the art.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't even know if the director is present, and maybe you want to go to talk with them.
But it's great that the first festival is Annecy.
It's really nice.
Yes. Do you have more coming?
At the moment, I'm not aware because it's distributed by Miu, and I'm not. I think they let us know maybe with a small delay, what is happening. So
Turku.
I hope so, but it will be in a national competition. So I have high hopes that it will get there because the national competition doesn't have so many films entering.
Entries, yeah. But is it Finnish-Estonian?
The production? No, it's
just Finnish.
It's just Finnish, and the actual production is also like 100% Finnish people. I think also because of the Finnish money, that it's not maybe mandatory, but it's preferred. But I and another animator, Sanni, we were working in Tallinn.
Yeah, I remember you told me you had 2 animators, right?
Yeah, another one, Roope. So I had Sanni Lahtinen and Roope Heimonen, and Roope was in Finland and Sanni in Estonia with me in the same room. And it was the first time that I was working with animators. So, and I know that both of them are really good, and I like their style. But I was maybe a little bit suspicious, or I was thinking like, can they animate? Because I want them to animate not too well, or I said to them that don't animate too fluently. It has to be a little bit bad. And and then I found in the process that they have a little bit different natures as animators, because Sanni is maybe for her it was more natural to make a very sensitive movements, And Roope was more like very comical and very good with like this more energetic and comical scenes. So I kind of, if I will work with them again, then I will know a little bit more like what kind of scenes to ask them to do.
I think it's very good to get to know your animators so that you know what their strengths. You know.
Yeah.
And for me, I noticed when I was directing and animating that sometimes you end up not animating so much.
Yes. I was also thinking that I will animate many scenes, and I had like scenes that I felt that they are so dear to me or like emotionally important that only I can animate them. And then I was like and then I was slowly giving up because of the schedule. I was giving up on these principles. And then it was like, finally it was like one scene, like, okay, only I can animate this. But then I didn't have the time. And then I said to Sanni, like, can you animate it? And yeah.
And it went well.
Yeah. But in pre-production, I actually animated some scenes, like when I was trying to find out what it's all about. And sometimes when I didn't know what to do with the script, then I just animated some movement. So a few of these movements, like the nuns going down the stairs, it could be used in the final, or like the rough animation could be used. So
what you did in pre-production, there were animation tests, but then you ended up using them in the final.
Yeah. Like at some point, I didn't know even what would be the actual script, but I just had some scenes in mind that felt good, and then I made an animated test because I felt like I want to do something and I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. So when you got stuck basically with script, you said
that was one thing that I could do. Yeah,
it's a good way.
Yeah, because I think then you feel like the movement is like the nice part of the production, and maybe it's with all the stages that the stage you are in doesn't feel so nice. So when you are script writing, then it feels like I want to do animation. I don't want to think so much. And then when you are animating, then you again want to do something else.
I wanted to ask if I can know which one was the scene that you said, no, this one I have to animate, and then you didn't.
It was maybe I animated it, the rough animation, and it's where the man and the nun is like a close up of their faces in the tree, and then the man is sliding down. So that was one of the scenes that I animated in a very early stage, and then I felt like I have to do the clean up, but in the end Sanni did it, and it looks nice. I think it's good to maybe let go of as a director as some of these beliefs that only you can convey something.
Yeah, because I mean sometimes they even surprise you and come up with new things.
Yeah, exactly.
They bring their own skill.
Yeah. That's, I think, the best feeling. And sometimes in the process of animation, or with me and Sanni, because we were in the same room, and then we came up with some funny details, or we felt like they were stupid but funny, and that she put there. And with Roope too, that I just if some part wasn't clear to me, I just said to him that you like come up with something, and then he was good at it.
You were already working with your animators a little bit during the pre-production.
With Sanni a little bit, because we applied for production funding 2 times, and the first time we didn't get it, so I asked Sanni to help me with the visuals that I just paid from my own money. Yeah. So she helped me with that.
That's great, because maybe she was already in the process from the beginning.
Yeah. But I feel like her title is animator, basically, and the coloring and compositing. But because she was next to me, she was also doing so much more that's not visible in the credits. Like all the time, when you have someone next to you, you want to ask opinion, and you want to,
Yeah, it's very good, you know, to be in the same room. And was it? How was the remote work with
Well, I think it was really easy, and also the producer was in the other country, but we had quite a working system with files and everything, and we made a video call when it was needed and wrote in Slack when it was needed.
And the residency was pre-production, the open workshop.
Yeah, well, I count it as pre-production, but for me the whole pre-production was like, I don't know how many years, like 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a long period of trying to figure out what actually I want to do, and if I even want to do this film, because at some point I was sure I don't want to do it, I want to do something else, and then I got back to it. So
did it change a lot in 5 years?
Well, some things stayed the same, like from the beginning there was these secrets under the dresses, so that's kind of
right.
That was in the first script. But one thing that I was trying to maybe stay away from was the man, because I felt that anyway it's maybe in the morning conversation the interviewer said that nuns are not so fashionable, and then I think like nuns and man is even less fashionable. So yeah, and I had him in some sketches, and then I was thinking that this romance stuff is actually what interests me, but I will like try to make it without it. And yeah, and this design of the man came from drawings of my colleague in Estonia, Karin Baumer. Because when I was stuck for the first time in 2019, I asked her to, I had a little bit of money, and I asked her to make a kind of inspirational drawing for me. I think it went under visual development, that I gave her a script, and then I said that you can draw anything, like it can be on the script or outside. And so she had also drawn in her sketches. The man wasn't in the script, but he had drawn the man, and it was basically the how to say, the basis for the man's design. Yeah.
So the man was not in the original script?
No. And I tried to, in the beginning I thought that I don't want to make a film with one main character, that I would like to make a film with many characters that are equal, but in the end I didn't know how to. So I kind of, this one person became like the main character. Yeah, and so she drew the man a long time ago, and then I thought, oh, it's nice, but I will not use it. But then during the Fontevraud residency, I had some sketches with the man and some ideas, and there this Javier Xawatopor, who was a mentor there, he had a really nice emotional response for the man and the nun thing, and it was really nice that I felt like, oh, he's touched by it. And so there may be something also for others than me, because maybe I felt that it's just like too personal or like too emotional based, and I should be thinking maybe the script somehow more mathematically. And then I got encouraged to put him in, and I'm actually very happy that he is there. Yeah, because I got to deal with this theme of like unhappy love story, or like fantasy that doesn't live up to reality.
Like expectations.
Yeah.
I really love in general I love the film very much, but I really love this the chorus of the nuns, and but each of them, they have their own secrets or their own secret worlds. Since the beginning I didn't expect that the man was not there. I thought that since the beginning you had the man and the nun as characters, so it's very interesting to hear that it developed.
Yeah, he kind of lured himself in.
Like in the film, yes. And I like it, the character, the design as well, because it's so mysterious.
Yeah, the not fitting there at all.
Yeah, I mean mysterious, but also funny because it's the outfit and the sunglasses.
Someone said that it reminds them like of some high school friend that never moved out of their home city, and
a bit, yeah. I mean, it's like this a little shy, awkward guy in a sweatpants and
not maybe like very fashionable, but I think that's the mystery of love, that you cannot explain it, and others maybe can't see like what is the charm that you see in some person.
And it's not a lot, but there is this fashion theme also when the nun tries different outfits, but they're all the same, but they're not the same. And this was also like a scene you had since the beginning, or what was the idea?
Almost from the beginning. And I think that is just my own experience in the shop.
Yeah.
In Humana.
Yes.
Yeah, like you go there and you think that you will find so many nice clothes, and then you go to fit them, and everything is wrong, and then actually it's like your reflection in the mirror that is the problem, and then you leave without buying anything.
Yeah, I mean I thought about it, but I also thought at that point in the film she is already like in love, or she has this crush.
Yeah.
And I felt like she didn't feel good anymore in her own skin.
Yeah. I mean, it can happen, right? That you become like too self-conscious of yourself, and that you start to see yourself from outside, and then you start to judge yourself.
Yeah, and I think you overanalyze yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was a very good metaphor, for like this moment when you were fine just before you met this person, and then you meet the person, you start having all these thoughts and troubles. And
yeah, but maybe like the part of falling in love or having a crush that I portray in the film is like the negative part, or like the kind of the negative influences. But actually I think having a crush is like also very energizing state, that it's like a vitamin or something that it gives you a lot of creative energy. But maybe in her case, it's put her maybe.
But maybe it gives also her creative energy, like when she goes out.
Yes.
And I guess
shaking the trees.
She shakes the, and I think it's early in the morning, or I don't know. I had this idea. Yeah, she wakes up, right? So she is feeling the spring.
Yeah, and actually this night scene and swimming, and actually the swimming in the tulips also first was a sketch of this Karin, my colleague.
Yeah.
That it is kind of even though it's like only her experience, and the object of desire is not taking part of this, or it's like just her dreaming, but it's still like a really beautiful moment that she experiences in her night swim. And this maybe was something that I also liked to include, that even though it may be one-sided or it may be doomed, this crush, then it's still maybe worth it, and can be like a really nice memory and a nice experience.
Yeah. I mean, it is like that sometimes. Maybe you are daydreaming, but it's still pleasant. Yeah,
and a person can be kind of your muse or whatever, even though you will not become the love story of lifetime.
And I have to ask about the religious part. Like, they are nuns, but there is not really any religious symbol, right? You don't see them. You see them singing, you see them writing. But is it like Was it for you, of course, a very interesting and metaphorical character because they are a choir of nuns? They're like this group.
Yeah.
And nuns meaning they don't have relationship with men.
Yeah.
Or is there something else more?
I was thinking about a lot that is it okay that I do film of this group of people that I actually know nothing about. Mm-hmm. I think nowadays it's quite common to think about like the representation and everything. And at some point that was one reason that I thought I will not do it. Okay. But then I think in the end people understand that it is not that I try to say anything about the real nuns, but I just use it as a metaphor of human life and any community that you are part of. And I did choose to leave the religious things out, but but in the end, like my friend said, like anyway they are nuns, like you could have had a cross somewhere, or it doesn't really change so much. And then I think of other nun representations, like what is the film with Whoopi Goldberg? Sister Act.
Right, yes.
Yeah, and all the like porn films and whatever. Then I was thinking like nuns, they have like seen it all. They have already seen it all, and whatever like people have fantasized about them, and they are like they don't care probably that they are above it.
Yeah. No, for me, I never thought like about representation. I really was interested because it is a very, very particular metaphoric character, and it's very good to play with this character. And I was just wondering in the whole story.
Like how it started, or
also like you wanted to talk about difficult relationships or
no,
like
actually I had nuns first. Yeah, and it started from some joke that I said that I will go to a convent and start living as a nun in some emotionally complex time.
Yeah.
And then it was this thought of nuns as a characters, it somehow stayed with me. And then a few years later I started to think that I could try to make a film with them.
It's funny that it started with the joke.
Yeah,
it's often the case, I think, that you start with a exaggeration or like with a situation that seems absurd, but then it brings you to an actual metaphorical story. Yeah,
and because they are quite like a strong, with a lot of like recharged character, so I think it's in a way, they have a lot of possibilities, so it's a good place to start from.
I agree. When you play with those archetypes, it's very good if you create this storytelling around, I think, because I remember also talking with other directors, if you play around something that the audience already knows or expects, then you can create more surprise or more...
and tension. And
Maybe it's also what your friend said before about creating this contrast.
Yeah, true.
Because if now you think, nuns, nuns, and then you expect something, but you get the opposite.
Yeah, true.
And what about the pigeons?
I really like this flying pigeon sound and shadow and everything. I think it was at some point of being stuck, I just drew pieces of storyboard that were happening in the convent but were not connected to the script that I had. And one of them was highly inspired, or it's a scene that I almost straight stole from Andrei Tarkovsky film that I saw. It's called in Swedish Offret, because I saw it for some reason it was in Swedish. They shot it in Sweden actually. And so it has the scene where we see a window from outside, there is character in the window, and then the wind closes the window seal, whatever it's called, and we don't see the character anymore. And then I was impressed by this playing with the composition, and then I just added the birds and the shadows.
Yeah.
And so I think that was like the starting image for the birds or the pigeons, and then I had to come up with some meaning with them in the film.
Yeah, and they are very much connected with the character.
Yeah, I think that's also the part that because maybe I have studied the tradition where everything should be very clear for you as a director, even though it's like a mystical, it has to have some working inner logic. So in that sense, I felt like this was the weakest part, because I can't really if I'm asked how to explain what they mean, then I can come up with some explanation that okay, they are her inner thoughts, her dreaming, blah blah blah. But I didn't really know consciously. But yeah.
I mean, I don't think you need to have the written explanation for everything, but I found it very interesting also how you played with sounds, and especially because, as we said before, the nuns are like one thing and they are singing all together in this choir, but then in the end they all have their own secret or their own world and their own sound. And I really loved also the final metaphor, how then the choir or the singing is actually all the sounds put together.
Yeah, and I think in that the composer Jukka and the sound designer Jani, who is also the producer, they made a really good job, because Jani was making the sounds, the individual sounds, and Jukka was making the music for the choir. And to make it work, it was like, I think it works as I hoped.
Yeah. For me, it really gives in the end this feeling like you think, oh, she's the weird one, or she has this crush, but then in the end everyone has his own thing, right? Did I get it right?
Yes. I mean, you saw under their dresses, right?
Yeah,
there was a lot of...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's also a very nice metaphor, that it's under the dress, under the skirt. The secret worlds, like parallel worlds.
Yeah, this is what I feel, because if I follow people's lives in social media, and there you put like only one side of your life, and then I think often that everyone else is like having it so well and having no problem or whatever. But when I talk with people in real life, then I hear of all the other sides.
So I didn't think about it when I saw the film, but I think about this problem every day. Social media always shows you a curated image, and it's never real. Yeah.
So maybe that's like what you show there. But I understand that it's very hard to be your real self there or anything.
But even if you want, I think it's very hard, because you cannot share every single second
you are
of
anyway
your life.
kind of curating your life, and maybe you don't want to share the hard things, which I think is understandable.
Did your parents watch the film?
Yes, I showed them when it was ready.
And did you get the feedback you thought?
I got the feedback that I thought, yeah. My mother, I think she really liked it, but also she has seen a lot of short animation. When I was younger, she took me to film festival, so actually...
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we went together. So for her it was, I think, she kind of understood what it was about. And then my father... I think he saw it more like, he was more confused. He saw it like as more of a fragmented pieces of something, and he said like, yeah, it's visible that you have done it in small parts, like it doesn't really have a like a structure or something like this. Yeah, in the original script there was actually a sauna, or that it ended so that that one nun was sweating a lot, and in the end it turned out that she had a sauna under, and then she opened it and everyone went to the sauna. But it got discarded at some point. But I think sauna has been like almost a fashion phenomenon, or in animations.
Short films, yes.
I don't. Do you think it's because of Turku Animated
I don't
Festival?
think so, because I know one animator that did a short called Sauna, and she never been to Turku. But for sure, I think going to like sauna or to a mum, they are such particular and more maybe also intimate experiences, especially for people that don't do this on a regular basis, that leaves a print. Yeah,
and maybe it's a way also to deal with all this body positivity and stuff like that.
I think it's fascinating, from especially if it's a new thing that you don't know.
Yeah. And then I feel there is always some kind of, or it feels like that you start to spot from animated films similarities, and at some point I felt there was a lot of like swimming pools, and I also wanted to make something swimming pools. I didn't. And now when I have flowers, then I feel that in every film there is like some flowers, but I think that's what happened, like you start, it's like pregnant women start to see pregnant women.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
You pay attention to what you have in mind.
Yeah.
But are your nuns French?
Are they French?
Yeah.
I think they are international.
Okay. Just because I remember that in one shot it looks like there is a Tour Eiffel in the background.
Ah, yeah. Well, I think it's kind of it is a Tour Eiffel, but I think why is there? I can't explain. I needed to put something there.
It's okay.
Yeah, and I think some sketches, they are inspired by the residency in Fontevraud, like the castle or the abbey.
Right, it was a bay, so maybe it was perfect for your script.
It was a little bit helpful, yeah. I was using some sketches that I did because I'm not good in like drawing buildings. That's really what I'm not good at. And this castle or convent, Sunny, the animator, was drawing me.
And in Fontevraud, did you mainly do sketches or also writing?
Sketches and writing and existential crisis and the night scene. I started I made some animated tests for the first flowers and some swimming movement. And I was listening a lot of to Waves Blood. Do you know this? Is she Canadian singer? I'm not sure. Anyway, but she has this song called Movies, and it's a beautiful some kind of baroque pop, or I don't know what's the category. And I was listening to that and animating some swimming nuns in the night, and that was like the birth of the feeling that I wanted to have in this scene.
It's a very nice image, you know.
Yeah. All in all, I would say that I enjoyed very little of making this film. Like I felt very practically at some point that I just need to get it done, because I had been doing it for so long. I had been talking about it, and then I felt like I need to get it done so I can move forward and like start to think some next steps in my life. And
what was the hardest part of the whole?
Everything. I was all the time just trying to avoid doing it, like avoiding my responsibilities, or that's how it felt for me.
I know it very well. I think it happens all the time. At some point you say that you want to do this film, but then you get stuck.
Yeah, or you're not sure of how it will be, and then you feel like, and maybe I think it's mostly, you don't know what to do next exactly, and then you are like just pushing it
And also probably because the more you go on, the more choices you take and the more defined it becomes.
Yeah. So I don't remember really like having this flow state. Maybe sometimes in the night when I was alone and doing some After Effects stuff and listening to music. But I think I had it much more with my graduation film, or then it's just like no nostalgia. It's like enough far away. I think the residencies was the really nice part, especially in the middle of the pandemic. Like the Fontevraud was like water in the desert for my soul, and I met really nice French artists. Also, I think it was especially interesting to be in this edition that was not only animators but also like sculptures and other artists from the area. So yeah, like I like animators, but I also like to hear and see what other artists are doing. Yeah. So it was really enriching edition. That's in cool. That sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's always good.
Yeah, and the production was, I mean, really nice in a way that like I wasn't enjoying myself, but everyone around me was doing really good job, and there was no problem in communication, almost no problem. And it was like my inner unsatisfaction of everything. But now that it's done, I'm really happy.
No, I'm good.
Just enjoying.
You can enjoy it. So. Yeah. But yeah, the last question is: do you like onions?
Like raw or?
You tell me. What's the best way to make onions?
Oh, I absolutely. Sometimes they make you fart a little bit, right?
I guess.
Like the raw ones. But I think it's like the base of almost every good food, that you fry onions and garlic, and then the smell is coming, and then you feel already like very culinaristic. You feel like you are a good cook. You got this.
But is there any special Finnish way to make onions?
No.
How do you say onion?
Sipuli.
Sipuli. In Italian it's cipolla.
Ah, that is the same base.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yes. Sipuli.
Yeah, but if you ask me what is my favorite onion, I really like the green onion, the really thin one. Yeah. I don't know how it's...
Spring onions.
Even thinner, like...
the
almost,
ciboulette.
Yeah, like that grass that grows in the nature too.
I don't know in English, but it's ciboulette.
And that used to grow in my grandmother's, around the garden, and I ate it when I was small, and it's like a really nice, nostalgic taste.
Nice. Thank you. Kiitos.
Welcome.
I hope you enjoyed my chat with Heta, and I hope you'll have the chance to watch her delightful short. You can find Heta and her work on Instagram, and you'll find all the information you need in the show notes. This was Under the Onion Skin. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time with another director and a short animated film. Ciao!